and it's Friday, December the 7th, Pearl Harbor Day, and Glenda Merle's birthday. I turned 67 today, y'all. I don't feel 67. You know, I'm healthy and I'm happy, and you know, what more can you ask for? I have 2 beautiful grandchildren, and I have a son, Jason, who loves me, and he lives down in Orlando. He's happily married to a woman named Bibi, and they have a grandson that they are part guardians for. And oh, my son absolutely loves that little boy. So, you know, I don't have any complaints. I'm happy today on my birthday. So, I apologize for my little dash camera holder thing shaking, but there's not much I can do about it. But I do have a good story to tell y'all. Now, y'all know when I started out my video diary that I was telling stories about my life, and I kind of started from, you know, when I was a child and going on up, you know, through today. But then I got sidetracked and stopped telling them for a while. You know, I got busy with the cooking and then the nanny diaries and things like that. But I do have a story to tell y'all, so let's get busy. Okay, so this happened in about 1987. John had gotten fired from yet another job, and we had moved to Tennessee. So we lived in Knoxville for 2 or 3 years, and then he got fired from that job, and all of these firings, you know, it was his own fault because he's an alcoholic, and you know, he kept drinking on the job. So anyway, I got very, very sick, and I was working for the Tennessee Valley Authority, but I got so sick, y'all, that I had to quit the job. And I'll get into all the details, but it had to do with my thyroid, and so it just got to be so bad that I couldn't work. You know, for 2 years I was bedridden and had panic attacks, and it was just horrible. So anyway, so I was going to several doctors, you know, trying to find out what was wrong with me, and they just could never pinpoint it. And I'm sure they did thyroid tests, but, you know, this was back in the 80s, and we didn't have internet, and, you know, I couldn't go and really research my symptoms except maybe in that old, the Merck medical manual. So anyway, what happened, when John was working in Tennessee, he made real good money. So we bought a brand new Nissan Maxima for me. It was like a 1987, I think. And then he pulled another one of his little Dodge Aries tricks where he just went to the dealership on his own without even talking to me about it. And he came driving home with a Nissan Sentra. So not only did we have my Nissan Maxima to pay for, we had the notes on his Sentra, and he had a company car. So that didn't make sense. But I did not tell the Nissan Credit Corporation to come get that car. We did make the payments on it. Like I said, he was making good money, and when I was working for the Tennessee Valley Authority, I made good money too. So, and then we bought a house full of furniture, and then I got sick, and then he got fired. So we ended up selling all the furniture, and then they came and repossessed the little Nissan Sentra. So we packed up what little bit of stuff that we had left, and my friend Dale and her husband Doug, they helped us find an apartment in Mandeville. So we moved into a little apartment. I don't remember if it was 2 or 3 bedrooms, but by then we had very little furniture because we had sold all the children's furniture. But anyway, we managed. I don't remember exactly what went on, but while we were living in this apartment in Mandeville, John just drank and drank and drank and drank. He would not even go look for a job. And the way that we survived, I had been to over 54 doctors during a two-year span, trying to find out what was wrong with me. I had been in the hospital and tested and everything and all. So we had gotten, I guess it was COBRA insurance, where you can extend it, after you leave your employer. So I still had, really good medical coverage. Well, the hospitals and the doctors, when they sent in their bills, that insurance company sent us the check for the money. And so that's what we lived off of. We couldn't pay the bills. I needed that money to buy groceries and pay the rent. So during that time, Nissan came and repossessed a little Nissan Maxima. So, then we had no transportation. So we ended up going to this little local bank. I guess we took a taxi there. I don't even remember how we got there. So we told the man, he was the owner of the bank. Back then, they had little small town banks, and, these businessmen would all, be the bankers and the owners. So we told him what was happening, and so he felt sorry for us, and he gave us a loan for $1,000. We had found a little Ford Fairlane car, an old used one at a used car lot. So we wanted to buy it. So the banker, just out of the goodness of his heart, I think, he loaned us $1,000. So we went and bought that little Ford Fairlane. So, and then, we got a checking account at that bank and everything. And I'm trying to think, I think John got some type of little part-time job. I can't remember, but it seems like he did go to work for like a 7-Eleven. So we had that little bit of income coming in. So anyway, we went up to the Citizens Bank, to the drive-thru one day to cash his check. So the teller, she opened up the little drawer. That was before they had these suction hose things, that takes your check across the pipe into the bank. You had to actually go up to the window. So she put the little drawer out, and we put the check in there. And all of a sudden, she turned around, and she just started screaming, and she just threw her hands up in the air like that. And she said, "We're being robbed! We're being robbed!" So we just, John and I were thinking, what in the world is going on? So we could see inside the bank, and we saw a man standing there in front of the tellers with a gun pointed at them. And y'all, he had on this bright yellow shirt. So John and I, we just, eased out from the drive-thru, and we waited for the robber to come out, and he came running out with the bag with the money in it. And he jumped in this car. It was like an old Oldsmobile Cutlass, I think it was. So he jumped into that car, and he took off. Well, me and John took off after him. So we were following him, and then all these cop cars were coming, and just all the sirens and coming on and everything. So John stopped, and we flagged down this policeman, and we told him, "That's the robber in that car up there." So the cop, he turns around. So we're all following the robber, and so we saw him pull into this little road, and he goes into the parking lot there, and he jumps out of the old Oldsmobile Cutlass and jumps into an old Buick Riviera. Same color now, look just like the old Cutlass. He had his getaway car, but it looked just like the one that he had used when he left from robbing the bank. So we just sat there, and the cop pulled in, and he dragged the guy out of the car. By then there were several other cops coming up, so they dragged him out and threw him up against the hood of the car and searched him and everything, and took his gun, and they got the money back. We had to go to the police station and give a report and everything. And so about 3 or 4 days later, we get a call from the secretary at the bank, and y'all, I can't remember the owner's name for the life of me, but she said, Mr. So-and-so wants to talk to you. So we made an appointment to go in to see him and everything. So, he was so grateful, y'all. that we had caught that bank robber for them, and they got their money back and everything. So, you know, he had remembered loaning us that $1,000 for that old blue Ford Fairlane. So he told us that he was going to forgive the loan. So, so that guy in the yellow shirt, he robbed the bank just at the right time. That brought us some. Jordan, a little bank robbery story, and y'all just